Report out of the world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So over in Baghdad and outside of the U.S. Embassy in a heavily guarded green zone, militia members and people, thousands of people have actually been protesting outside of the U.S. Embassy while in response to the United States actually launching airstrikes that actually killed 24 Iranian-backed militia members for a militia group known as Kataib Hezbollah, not to be confused with Hezbollah from Lebanon. Now, 24 members were killed due to the U.S. airstrikes. The U.S. was responding to a U.S. contractor actually being killed last Friday in Kirkuk, Iraq, where a rocket blast that actually took this person's life. Now, keep in mind the U.S. actually has like 5,000 troops stationed in Iraq. Many are actually in an undisclosed number of like U.S. contractors, but the people that are protesting and calling for the U.S. to actually withdraw their presence from Iraq. Even Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi said he warned Trump not to launch any airstrikes and not to come after Kataib Hezbollah because it would cause a lot of it would heighten a lot of tension. Green War and Graduation. The world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Now, I told y'all about how that suspect had actually went into that suburb of New York, Monty, had went into the home of a rabbi where like there was like 100 Jewish worshipers there for Hanukkah, and he came into the home with a machete and ended up stabbing 5 of the worshipers. None of whom died, but some people were hurt pretty badly. Now, this person, the suspect, Grafton Thomas, has officially been charged with a hate crime. Governor Andrew Cuomo already called this an act of domestic terrorism, but they also, investigators found like anti-Semitic writing, Hitler references, and swastikas all in the dude's home. And sounds familiar. Like a Dylan Roof type of situation, but his family and friends and his lawyer basically saying like he is in need of a serious psychiatric evaluation. His lawyer's like, I don't know if anyone who's given him these charges has actually even sat down and spoke with him, but he's messed up psychiatrically. So I don't know, something seems fishy. Green War and Graduation. The world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Make sure you check out my mixtape, man. Still I Grind, the only Instagram mixtape ever, with its own page at still_I Grind. There's also a link in the bio there where you can watch the mixtape straight through on YouTube, and it's 24-minute runtime, straight fire, man. But you can see it in the post as well, social political commentary as well, merchandise as well, man. Go check that out, man. Straight flame. Now, I told y'all about the shooting that actually happened Sunday morning at West Freeway Church of Christ in White Settlement, Texas, which is right outside of Fort Worth, Texas. Well, authorities have actually dropped some names about who did what. You had the gunman is actually Keith Thomas Kanuna, who comes out to have like a long rap sheet that includes like assault and battery and theft. But he actually murdered 2 worshipers, 64-year-old Anton Wallace and 67-year-old Richard White, before being gunned down by 2 armed parishioners. So there you have it. Some more funny shit, man. That's why I made that song Duck Down. Make sure y'all check that out too on YouTube, Bishop Grady TV, BSHRPGRADY TV. Green War and Graduation. The world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So the New York Times actually reported or revealed details of a previously undisclosed meeting that happened in late August between President Trump, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and then National Security Advisor John Bolton, and where they basically tried to convince Trump to release the aid that he was withholding from Ukraine. We're talking about $391 million of military aid that was being withheld to essentially pressure Ukraine into opening up an investigation against Hunter and Joe Biden, presidential candidate for 2020 and former vice president for Barack Obama. Now, this meeting actually, those high-ranking officials failed to get Trump to release the aid. So maybe that has to do with why John Bolton eventually left that position. He's like, I don't want to be a part of this fucking fright train. I don't know, maybe. But that's what happened. Green War and Graduation. The world, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So there's actually still protests going on over there in India in response to the new citizenship law that has been put in place, where It basically provides a pathway of citizenship for immigrants, undocumented immigrants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, unless they're Muslim. So people are up in arms about this. They feel like this is the marginalizing the India's Muslim population, which sits at about 200 million. So a lot of people have been protesting, and now the numbers are showing that 27 people at least have actually died from the government crackdown on these protests, as well as there being over 1,000 people arrested. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Make sure y'all sign that petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGram716, or in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. They got exactly why you should be removed from their platform. For violating Twitter policy, spreading misinformation, putting us and our troops in danger, it has to come to an end. We can't wait for any impeachment bullshit to go down. You dig what I'm saying? Now check this out. Over in Kashmir, this is an area that's controlled partially by Pakistan. They have a region, and then there's an Indian controlled region. Now I told y'all how India earlier this year actually removed the special status in that sense of the special status of Kashmir in that sense, like pretty much put the area on lockdown. Well, they've been arresting folks and killing folks, but they have actually released 5 political figures, Kashmiri political figures from prison. But 3 of Kashmir's most prominent political figures remain in prison. Keep in mind, the past 5 months, the internet has been shut down, making it the longest blackout for ever imposed in a democracy. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Over in Sudan, the courts have actually sentenced 29 intelligence officials to death for the torture and murder of Ahmad Al-Khair. This is a teacher that actually was arrested for participating in a protest against the longtime leader of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir. Keep in mind that security forces have actually cracked down on these protests that were happening last year around this time, all the way up until April. And these protests eventually ended up getting Omar al-Bashir out of his presidency and into the same jails where he was throwing people into. So he's considered a war criminal by most observers and definitely by his own people. But keep in mind, these security crackdowns of these protests actually killed at least 170 people. So it got real serious over there, and even after the fact when they were trying to get an interim government. But now this is restoring hope in the justice system over there. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Over in Australia, I've been telling y'all about the wildfires that have been rocking that country. In the southeast of the country, in Malakuta, 4,000 residents actually had to flee to the beach in order to escape the wildfires as they continued to burn shit down and then covered the morning sky black. You know what I mean? Colored the morning sky black. I was going to say that. But it had these thick smoke blankets in the sky. The death toll from these wildfires in the country have actually risen to 12 when a father and his son had apparently died in that region, in that Malakuta region. Now, also, it should be noted that 500 million animals have actually died from these wildfires, and it's been covering the country and putting these thick black smoke blankets in the sky. People are looking at Australia and saying that's what's to come if we don't deal with climate change. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the former chief of the car company Newz, Carlos Ghosn, is actually escaped Japan and fled to Lebanon, where he now has citizenship. And people don't understand how he got citizenship, because he was supposed to hand over his passport due to the fact that he was facing a trial in Japan in 2020 for financial wrongdoing. And he says that he wasn't escaping justice, he's escaping injustice and political persecution. Again, it's a mystery how he got to Lebanon and Lebanese citizenship, but Lebanon doesn't have an extradition pact with Japan, so he may be in the safe zone, you know what I'm saying? Or he may just live his rest of his life on the run like TK, you know what I'm saying? But we know what happened with TK over here, so I don't know, maybe he has a dark future ahead of him, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens though. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So New York City actually has settled a class action lawsuit for $12.5 million with families who've actually been visiting their loved ones that are in jail, in these jails in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Rikers Island, due to invasive strip searches. There were complaints. Many of the women were actually felt violated by like the woman guards who would actually, even penetrate them and even make them drop their pants and show their sanitary napkins and all of that. So, it's the first time that there's actually been money coughed up regarding the invasive and humiliating strip searches that have gone to that have been acted on visitors who've just been going to visit their family. We're not gonna act like it's not two sides of this, because people do smuggle in drugs and weapons or whatever in they pussy, or you know what I'm saying, under their nut sacks and all of that. So there's a reason for it to be somewhat invasive, but there's a limit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know the limit. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So Michigan State Police have actually settled on the largest settlement that they've ever had to do for a single incident, and $12 million being given to the family of Damon Grimes. Now, Grimes was a 15-year-old teenager who was actually riding an ATV in the Detroit residential area back in 2017. Officers, cop tried to pull him over. When he didn't pull over fast enough, so they tased him, and then he drove into the back of a parked truck, crashed, and died shortly after that. So $12 million is seems like the least that they can do. Hopefully this goes to money never replaces a person. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace, Damon Grimes. But hopefully this will go towards the family actually being able to cope and build a better future for themselves. And I don't know. I mean, it's a fucked up situation though. Green War and Graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Make sure y'all sign that petition. Get Donald Trump on Twitter, on the change.org, link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716, or in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. Also check out my fire-ass Instagram mixtape, Still I Grind, the prelude to the album. But I give y'all basically like tracks, you know what I'm saying, 20 all performed, 24 minutes of straight heat, all tracks that ain't never touched paper, and it mixed with social and political commentary. It's links to the merchandise, man. Go ahead, support, show love, and some of y'all rappers need to take some notes. Let's keep it at that. Now, check this out. Over in a Colorado judge has actually ordered Denver police to stop enforcing the city's ban on camping, saying that it amounts to cruel and unusual punishment. So this is something that's been celebrated by supporters of, I guess you could say, the city's homeless or whatever. And this comes 2 weeks after the Supreme Court already ruled, basically left in place a lower court ruling that said it was unconstitutional to have any of these vagrancy laws, which is basically what they are. Green War and Graduation.